Welp, y'all, we are back. We are on day 72 of this story. Sonny D, buddy, I hope you're listening. Pop's reading you the story, and this is the story of the Bible, the story of our Messiah. Yep, so Jesus had just got done telling a parable to these folks about who their neighbor was. And he's asking them in this place, he says, now, which of these three do you think was his neighbor to the man who fell, or was the neighbor to the man who fell into the hands of robbers? The experts in the law replied, the one who had mercy on him. Jesus told him, go and do likewise. Besides teaching in parables, Jesus also taught in a more direct style, as seen in what came to be known as the Sermon on the Mount. What a beautiful sermon that was. And from that, what an amazing understanding we got about what he came to do. In a way, he made it harder for us. And in the other way, he gave us so much freedom. Whoo, from our own personal chains, y'all. Understand that. Them chains, them's personal. Now, when Jesus saw the crowds, he went up to the mountainside and sat down. Or up on a mountainside and sat down, not to it, on it. His disciples came to him, and he began to teach them. He said, blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Come on! Blessed are you when people insult you, persecute you, and falsely say all kinds of evil against you because of me. Rejoice and be glad, because great is your reward in heaven. For in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you. You are the salt of the earth, but if the salt loses its saltiness, how can it be made salty again? It is no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled underfoot. You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. And when you pray, do not be like the hypocrites, for they love to pray standing in the synagogues and on the street corners to be seen by others. Truly, I tell you, they have received their reward in full. But when you pray, go into your room, close the door, and pray to your Father who is unseen. Then your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. And when you pray, do not keep on babbling like pagans, for they think they will be heard because of their many words. Do not be like them, for your Father knows what you need before you ask him. This, then, is how you should pray. Y'all know what this prayer is, right? Yep. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be Well, okay. I said, who art... That ain't what this says, doggone it. Different ways they say it. Let's get back and start over again. I better read instead of just say. Because I would have said, Our Father who art in heaven. This says, Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we also forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. Man, if you don't love the Lord's Prayer, come on, the Lord done told us this is how you pray. And I'm going to tell you, in case you didn't know this, He understands every tear. When them times come where your mouth will not form a word, your brain will not link words together into a sentence, and tears are flowing, He knows. He knows your every fear. He knows your every hurt. He knows your every pain. He knows your every hunger. And when you come before Him, even if it's just tears and snot bubbles, He knows. So understand that. But He said this is a good way to do it. And in fact, that, if I'm not mistaken, the way they did it in the day, 3 times a day they prayed just like He had taught them. Good stuff right there. For if you forgive other people when they sin against you, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if you do not forgive others their sins, your Father will not forgive your sin. And I'm going to tell you something. When you forgive people, it's a healing process for you. Truth, it's not about them. That's all going to help you, even on this side of eternity. So go out there and start forgiving. Think about all them people you can make amends with, and make them amends, because they will help you. Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moths and vermin destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where moths and vermin do not destroy, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Them's people. Them treasures. Store up people. Spread the word, y'all. Awesome. The eye is the lamp of the body. If your eyes are healthy, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eyes are unhealthy, your whole body will be full of darkness. If then the light within you is darkness, how great is that darkness? No one can serve 2 masters. Either you will hate the one and love the other, or you will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. Don't serve money. Therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or drink, or about your body and what you will wear. Is not your life more than food, and the body more than clothes? Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much more valuable than they? Can any one of you worry by worrying add a single hour to his life? Don't be worried, y'all. You ain't going to add a moment. And why do you worry about clothes? See how the flowers of the field grow? They do not labor or spin, yet I tell you that not even Solomon, in all his splendor, was dressed like one of these. If that is how God clothes the grass of the field, which is here today and tomorrow is thrown into the fire, will He not much more clothe you? You of little faith. So do not worry, saying, What shall we eat? And what shall we drink? Or what shall we wear? For the pagans run after all these things, and your heavenly Father knows that you need them. But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given you as well. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. Therefore, everyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who built his house on the rock. The rain came down, the streams rose, and the wind blew, and beat against the house. The winds, they blew and beat against the house, y'all. Yet it did not fall, because it had its foundation on the rock. But everyone who hears these words of mine and does not put them into practice is like the foolish man who built his house on sand. The rain came down, the streams rose, and the wind blew and beat against the house, and it fell with a great crash. You ever think about the big bad wolf and them pigs? Built it on the rock, y'all. Jesus' teachings moved many people and changed lives. However, those who continually heard his parables and sermons were his disciples. At one point during their travels together, the disciples' trust in Jesus was put to the test when a violent storm overtook their boat. That day, when evening came, he said to his disciples, "Let us go over to the other side." Leaving the crowd behind, they took him along just as he was in the boat. There were also other boats with him. A furious squall came up, and the waves broke over the boat, so that it was nearly swamped. Jesus was in the stern, sleeping on a cushion. He said, "I'm sleeping, y'all, tired." The disciples woke him and said to him, "Teacher, do you not care if we drown?" He got up and he rebuked the wind and said to the waves, "Quiet, be still." Then the wind died down and it was completely calm. He said to his disciples, "Why are you so afraid? Do you still have no faith?" They'd seen him do some wondrous stuff, y'all. They were terrified and asked each other, "Who is this? Even the wind and the waves obey him." They went across the lake to the region of Gerasenes, somewhere. When Jesus got out of the boat, a man with an impure spirit came from the tombs to meet him. This man lived in the tombs. No one could bind him any more, not even with a chain, for he had often been chained hand and foot. But he tore the chains apart and broke the irons on his feet. No one was strong enough to subdue him. Night and day among the tombs and in the hills he would cry out and cut himself with stone. When he saw Jesus from a distance, he ran and fell on his knees. In front of him, he fell on his knees in front of him. He shouted at the top of his voice, "What do you want with me, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? In God's name, don't torture me." For Jesus had said to him, "Come out of this man, you impure spirit." Whew. Then Jesus asked him, "What is your name?" "My name is Legion," he replied, "for we are many." And he begged Jesus again and again not to send them out of the area. A large herd of pigs was feeding on a nearby hillside, and the demons begged Jesus, "Send us among the pigs. Allow us to go into them." He gave them permission, and the impure spirits came out and went into the pigs, the herd about 2,000 in number. rushed down the steep bank and into the lake and were drowned. Those tending the pigs ran off and reported this in the town and the countryside, and the people went out to see what had happened. When they came to Jesus, they saw the man who had been possessed by the legion of demons sitting there, dressed and in his right mind, and they were afraid. Those who had seen it told the people what had happened to the demon possessed man, and told about the pigs as well. Then the people began to plead with Jesus to leave their region. As Jesus was getting into the boat, the man who had been demon possessed begged to go with him. Jesus did not let him, but said, "Go home to your own people and tell them how much the Lord has done for you and how he has had mercy on you." So the man went away and began to tell the Decapolis how much Jesus had done for him, and all the people were amazed. When Jesus had again crossed over by boat to the other side of the lake, a large crowd gathered around him while he was by the lake. Then one of the synagogue leaders, named Jairus, came, and when he saw Jesus, he fell at his feet. He pleaded earnestly with him, "My little daughter is dying. Please come and put your hands on her so that she will be healed and live." So Jesus went with him. A large crowd followed and pressed around him, and a woman was there who had been subject to bleeding, for 12 years. She had suffered a great deal under the care of many doctors and had spent all she had, yet instead of getting better, she grew worse. We're going to stop there, y'all. Page 344. Hey, thank y'all for joining in here. This is a good story, is it not? Man, I love y'all. I pray y'all have a blessed day. And bye.